mute där.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from
Hey,
Grinding
Chris.
Gear Games. Thanks for joining us today as we reveal Path of Exile's next expansion, Lake of Kalandra, which launches on PC and Mac on August 19th,
Please
and on
inte garble.
Xbox and PlayStation on August 24th.
Please no garble.
Twitch drops are enabled for today's live
Ja, vad bra.
so make sure you follow the instructions below to link your account and earn your Wrangler wings.
Jag ska få kringlor.
Here's what you can expect from today's live stream.
Ja, ge mig.
First, we'll debut the trailer for the Lake of Kalandra expansion, and then dive into its challenge league. We'll discuss the
Snabba,
further improvements we're
stressa.
making to Path of Exile's endgame.
Ska jag gå och hämta en
release.
glass eller?
There's a slew
Oh
of
my
new
god.
unique items for us to cover, and also a broad power boost to many different uniques. We've got a selection of new skill and support gems to reveal, and are excited
Support
to
gems,
unveil our plans
poggers.
for revamping 3 past leagues. Then
Three
we'll cover
past
more
leagues.
details on
Harvest!
the
Ta bort
revealing
den!
this league's
Det är
new support
revampen.
pack
Let's
and what's
fucking
gonna happen
go!
lead up to launch next week. Our live stream ends with a Q&A session hosted by Ziggy D, where you can ask me your questions in
D.
Twitch chat. Then we'll post the
Shangri-D.
full patch notes for you to check out.
Ja, men ge mig
But before we show you
ja.
the trailer for Lake of Kalandra, I wanted to talk to you about Exilecon. Back in 2019, we were ready to announce Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile Mobile, and we wanted to do it with a bang.
Wow.
We filled a venue with thousands of Path of Exile fans from
Poggers.
around the world and ran our first Exilecon convention.
Drops här.
It was an amazing experience, full of fans interacting with developers,
nej,
and everyone who
tror
attended
jag.
can vouch for the amazing energy at the event.
Så måste det vara.
Announcing Path of Exile 2 on that stage was one of the highlights of my life.
Tror jag.
Since then, we've been hard at work on Path of Exile 2. Now that we're getting close to release, we will finally be ready to announce the date that the closed beta starts at Exilecon 2023. We're holding
2023!
Exilecon 2023
Closed
open
beta!
on the weekend of
Oh my
29th
god, det är evigheter bort!
2023.
Oh
In
my
addition to
god!
the beta start date, we'll also be announcing everything there is to know about new game systems, character classes,
What a piece of
items,
garbage!
Attendees will be
Oh
able to
my
play
god,
Path of Exile
folk är
2
så
and
jävla
Path of
hög
Exile
på det här
Mobile, see all the
PoE2
presentations
kopiumet.
live, meet our development team, hang out with their favorite streamers, and much more. The first wave of tickets will go on sale in 2 weeks.
Kan du
We'll
kolla?
make a news
Ja,
post
jag
tomorrow with
kollar
more
på en
information so
sekund.
that you have time to determine if you're able to attend before the tickets go on sale.
Så jävla
We are so
mute
excited to
där.
finally talk about what we've been working
Path of
on, and to let
Exile.
some of you experience the next generation of action RPGs. In the
Fucking
meantime, we have a
garble.
strong lineup of Path of Exile 1 expansions underway, and today we're proud to unveil Path of Exile Lake of Kalandra, which launches next week.
Down below, det står ju ingenting. Down below. What? Jag kollade där nere, det står ju ingenting om det så I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Exile.
Twitch
You
drops.
have
Jag
wandered
kan inte.
far
I
to
don't know.
arrive at the shores
Don't
of
know.
my lake.
Sag.
A hidden realm I have overseen for
Det är
more than
båtens sjö! Lake of Boat! Vad är det här för jävla wannabe? Vad är den heter?
These waters
Synthesis.
harbor deadly secrets.
Det är verkligen trash. Oh my. Varför showcasear de bajs?
Rayclast is reflected.
Nej men lägg av! Nej! Vadå runka med massa skit? Nej!
Distorts reality.
Oh my god, no, 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 no. Jag vill inte runka med massa skit! Oh my god, no. Oh my god, nej, 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 nej! Harvest rework, yay, vad glad jag är. Ta bort den. Oh my
Will you
god.
endure or will you drown?
Wow! So fucking bad.
In the Kalandra Challenge League, you will travel to the mirrored lake that granted Kalandra her powers of reflection. We want you to experience the story for yourself, so I'll avoid spoiling the details here. When you get to explore the league next week, you'll find out more about Kalandra and her motivations. Your experience with Kalandra so far is probably of her coveted mirror, which duplicates items by reflecting them. The lake itself has the power to reflect entire encounters from elsewhere in Rayclust. As you explore the lake, these reflections emerge from its mirrored surface. Sometimes these reflections are encounters with hordes of monsters,
Wow.
and sometimes you'll encounter extremely powerful foes, reflected from elsewhere in Rayclust.
God, no.
Often, reflections involve League content, such as this encounter with a Harbinger boss. As you play through the League, you'll occasionally encounter a set of columns protruding from the ground, with a mirrored tablet on top. This tablet invites you to construct a custom set of encounters at the Lake of Kalandra, offering a series of different reflections to place in whatever layout you wish. Each of these reflections represents an encounter that you must defeat when you next travel to the lake.
Oh my god! Jag vill inte runka i massa
Once you have assigned
skit!
a location on your mirror tablet, which will take a few areas, you can open a portal to the Lake of Kalandra itself.
Måste runka med...
There you will get to experience these reflections of Rayclust as Kalandra manifests each encounter you have chosen.
Och så kommer det vara generic lootsplosion garbage också, har jag rätt? Allting jag fucking
But
hatar
as
i
you push
spelet.
farther out onto the lake-shrouded waters, you will find each encounter to be more difficult, but more rewarding.
Wow,
This
spännande.
difficulty value counts up by 1 for each location away from the
Spännande.
entrance the encounter is. Players wanting the best rewards will try to engineer tablets that have long, windy strings of encounters, reaching very high difficulty values.
Nej!
There are occasional options that can be chosen which allow you to move and swap the entrance, reflections, and water tiles on the tablet.
Jag håller på att svimma.
Additionally, as you progress through the league, you'll be able to unlock special abilities that let you manipulate the options you have available on each tablet. If you don't like any of the choices available to you, you can earn the ability to skip picking one entirely.
Ja, om du inte vill runka med det här så kan du få mer runk.
Lets you re-roll the list of options
Yes!
so that you can immediately pick another one.
Yes, poggers!
Finally, you can earn the ability to exile a choice entirely. For the rest of this tablet, that choice will no longer appear.
Ja, jag håller på att svimma. So fucking bad.
Once you reach maps, you'll be able to itemize your mirrored tablets so that they don't have to be played immediately.
Yay! Wow!
They can be stored
Wow!
for
Då
later
började bara
or
runka
traded with other
500
players.
miljoner gånger och sen... Och sen mer skit att
As you
trada och
visit the
runka
Lake
med.
of Kalandra to
Yes!
attempt your mirrored
Yes, vad
tablets,
glad
there are
jag är.
many types of rewards you can find.
Ja, det här är bra.
An encounter that is based on a past league implicitly grants the rewards from that league, but with extra juice so that you're not missing out on bonuses you'd have obtained if your
Extra
Atlas tree applied
juice!
to the lake.
Wow! Wailing essences,
Other encounters
poggers.
that aren't based on past leagues generally yield a reward chest that rises out of the lake. when you
Reward
complete the
chest! Ja! Generic garbage! Yes! Jag älskar
Certain
det!
reflections
Ja!
grant you access to a new variation on rare items, exclusive to the Kalandra Challenge League. When you complete the encounter, you'll get access to some reflecting mist, which presents you with a difficult choice. It generates a rare ring or amulet with an unusual set of mods. Some are very high, and some are very negative, which hurt your character.
Oh, jag vill
The
inte!
item is then duplicated, with a reflected copy having inverse mods. Negative ones are now positive and vice versa. The amount that all of these mods are scaled up by is based on the difficulty of the encounter you just completed. You may only pick one of these items to keep.
Wow, vad spännande.
It'll often be a tough choice, with each item having its own strong pros and cons.
Oh
But sometimes
my
you'll be offered an item where
god.
the negative mods aren't downsides for your build, and the juiced up positive mods are very attractive. There are also some special new jewelry base types that you can rarely receive from this process. One rare and difficult encounter rewards you with an advanced version of this crafting process. It allows you to bring your own ring or amulet, distorting and reflecting it with the same as before. The mods are scaled up in value and some are randomly negated. The reflected copy has the inverse set of negations. It will certainly be tempting to gamble with some of your best jewelry to try to double the values that really matter for your build and negate the ones you don't care about.
Nej! Låt mig spela spelet och inte
If
massa
you're very lucky, you may
skit.
find a special League-exclusive unique ring at the lake. Kalandra's touch mirrors the effect of your other ring.
Wow. Det är som att du
The
hittar en
Kalandra
mirror
Challenge
men du
League
behöver
has
inte
something for
använda den.
everyone. It's an
Kul.
out-of-area
Okej.
combat league where you build your own sequences of encounters. It lets you fully
slot.
dictate your desired level of risk and reward and fully customize what content you play. It features a powerful crafting system, valuable rewards, and offers a glimpse into the lore of one of Path of Exile's most iconic characters. We can't wait to play it with you next week.
Is that it? Wow. Glad jag.
In every expansion
Vilken League
leading up to
mechanic!
Path of Exile 2's release,
Wow.
we'll be improving Path of Exile's endgame with new content to explore and new ways to customize your endgame experience. In the Lake of Kalandra expansion, we're introducing Atlas Memories. They aren't a League feature, they're part of the core game, affecting standard and persisting once the Kalandra League has ended. In maps, you'll very rarely find a memory item, which represents a set of memories that an NPC has about their past. Something special happened to them while exploring maps, and you're able to experience those events for yourself.
Jag kommer säga det redan
Let's have a
nu.
look at a couple of examples.
De säger det där ska vara rare
this
och det
Atlas
kommer bara
memory,
bajsas
Eric
ut och
tells
man
you
kommer
about the
få
time that he
flera
stumbled across
fucking
a
stash
staging ground
tabs
for a
med
harbinger
skiten och behöva
invasion of
sortera det och runka med
Each
lootfilter.
successive
Jag
map
garanterar!
portals and invaders that you must deal with. This is a memory of Nico's, where he entered a sequence of maps that were entirely consumed by permanent breaches,
Wow,
like a
poggers.
Breach Lord's domain.
Yeah,
He
poggers.
survived to talk about it, but will you?
Wow.
Right-click a memory and apply it to a completed map on your atlas. It'll mark out a series of adjacent maps that the atlas memory will span. When you
Yay.
next talk to the relevant NPC in your hideout, they'll tell you about their recollections and will allow you to start exploring the memory.
Oh my god.
Each map in the sequence is provided for free by the NPC,
So
and you'll be able to roll it like
fucking
usual before done.
bad. No way!
The
Du måste...
memories of
Alltså,
the NPC,
det...
they're not affected by your atlas tree. However, the content
Not
is generally
affected
as
by...
difficult and
Nej
rewarding
men
as
alltså,
fully
lägg
stabilized
av! Vad
atlas tree would
trash! Oh my fucking god!
Each successive map in the sequence gets harder and more rewarding as the memories intensify. While memories are tradable, they're also very rare and valuable, so you'll probably want
Very
to complete
rare,
them yourself
my
if you can.
fucking ass. De sa att Sentinel skulle vara...
For
Man ska
players who
inte
love
få
lore,
så många
Atlas
så att
memories help
man
expand
ska
on the backstory
inte
of
ha
key
infinite
NPCs.
av dem, men det såg
Players
ju
wanting
det
to
gick.
try out different League mechanics at quite high levels of juice that they haven't specialized their Atlas for. Memories let them do this without a bunch of respecking. And for everyone else, Atlas memories are a great way to earn some valuable items, if you're strong enough to complete them.
Generic garbage loot explosion.
The Lake of Kalandra expansion also contains a new unique map that I'm quite excited about. The Trial Master is back. This boss from Ultimatum, and more importantly the unique items he drops, have been sorely missed and will be making a return
Void
as the
Force blev
Tower
ju
of Ordeals unique
deletade
map in Lake
basically,
of
så vem
Kalandra.
fan bryr sig? Jag vet
This
inte ens
map
vad
can be
mer han
created by
droppar.
completing difficult endgame Val content.
What's the
We have
fucking
not forgotten
point?
about the rest of Ultimatum and have a specific plan for how it will return in the future. Whenever we're improving Path of Exile's endgame, we take every opportunity we can to add new variations of rewards that you can find.
Åh, vad spännande.
We don't want to say too much about how these are acquired, but in this expansion, it's possible to very rarely find special foil versions of any pinnacle boss unique item.
Wow, poggers.
These have the same stats as regular ones, but are certain to be highly prized by collectors or wealthy players wanting to show off. The Lake of Kalandra expansion contains 14 new unique items. In addition to the Kalandra's Touch Ring that is exclusive to the Kalandra Challenge League, we have introduced a new endgame pinnacle boss reward, a supporter unique, the Tower of Ordeals unique map, 6 new Grand Spectrum jewels, and even some leveling uniques.
Bing.
The first
Alltså
we're showing
det
you
ser
today is
legit
Soul
trash
Ascended,
ut.
a pair of gloves designed by Zizaran.
Ja, det är mer runk och...
Soul Eater is a very
Ja,
powerful
de
buff
diva.
that is usually hard to obtain in boss fights. This unique grants you the ability to gain stacks of Soul Eater when you hit a
I'm
unique
crying.
enemy, but also makes you lose those stacks if you aren't near one. Ghost Wraith is a leveling unique which allows you to play as an almost pure energy shield character during early parts of the campaign.
Wow.
We'll reveal the other new unique items in this expansion over the next week.
Slurfight them helt, poggers.
Path of Exile has a lot of unique items in its core drop
Åh,
pool.
jag håller på
Over
att
700
dö.
in fact.
Ska jag behöva skippa
We
en
feel that
till
there are two big
liga?
problems with unique items at the moment.
Alltså League-mekaniken
The first is that
ser
you find
legit
too
värre
many,
ut än
and the second is
Sentinel,
that they
no
are generally
fucking
pretty
joke.
useless when you do. Sure, there are some powerful endgame or build-enabling uniques that feel amazing to find, but the majority of unique items found throughout the game are rarely actually useful to you. In the Lake of Kalandra expansion, we have made a lot of changes here. We have reduced the overall
Är
drop
det några nya
rate of uniques
skills då?
throughout
Det
the
är
game and have
Det
rebalanced
kommer
and
soon
overhauled over
trademark,
100 existing unique
ny
items, with
skills
an emphasis on
och,
uniques in the core drop pool,
Och vilken-
including
Eller
level
det är många.
uniques and some endgame uniques.
jag ser ens något
You're going to
coolt.
find
Ser du en
unique items less
coil?
frequently
Finns
now,
ingen
but when you
Best
do,
coil.
they're
harp
going to
ska
be
jag
a lot
använda.
more punchy.
Garbo.
Nectar's Lantern has been completely changed from the
Battle
ground up.
Mage,
Previously, it was
Den är
trying to
ju
allow
helt
you to play a
över.
hybrid attacker and spellcaster, but it didn't really
Nej,
work very
det är det.
well.
Med
With the
tanke
new
på att den
design,
inte
it's
har
a lot
mycket
more elegant and
damage
delivers on
så
this
är det ju
goal by
typ
simply
bra
granting
för
high damage
leveling
and a
I
battle
guess,
mage
men
effect,
det är
so
41
that your
rex
weapon
och
damage is
armor.
added to your spells.
Whatever, tror jag.
Ja.
Thousand Ribbons is an example of an item where we merely needed to tweak values on the existing mods to make it a lot
Spells and
better.
attack,
We want mod
Poggers.
value
That's
rolls to
actually
matter
kind of
more,
OP,
and this
or no?
item now showcases that well.
Då är det bara level
If you find a
N6
high rolled
länkat
one
som. Den
early
har
on,
ju
you're probably not
resist
replacing it
också!
for a long
Oh
time.
my god, den kom helt burken! Tänk där i värsta
Malachi's
supertabula.
Singular was trying to deliver the Blood Mage
Det är
fantasy.
typ
Försök
bättre
inte
än
till
det.
double damage för man
This was meant to be
spellsockar
special
i en
because the Blood Magic
fyrlänkad
keystone was
keps.
far away from the
Poggers.
witch starting location on the skill tree.
Alltså,
Det är
Unfortunately,
ju
this
inte ens
item wasn't really
dålig
powerful enough to
förutom att den har
justify its
blood
use.
magic.
It has now been overhauled, and
Ja,
alongside
den
Blood
var
Magic,
lös.
it grants a
Kommer ju vara
powerful
whatever.
multiplicative damage boost.
Det är bra level. Nej, det är inte bra level.
alltså vad?
With over 100 uniques rebalanced in this way, your play experience is now punctuated by quite large bursts of power when you find one. We'll continue to examine the
Poggers.
power level and rarity of more unique items in subsequent expansions. The Lake of Kalandra
Ja,
expansion
jävlar, nya
includes 3
skills
new
då.
skill gems and 1 new
Kom
support
igen.
gem. Alchemist's Mark is a new mark skill. Igniting or poisoning the marked target creates burning or caustic ground underneath them, based on the
Gosh.
damage of the strongest ignite or poison on the enemy.
Wow.
Seems
The damage of the
actually
ground
broken.
effects also scales with curse and mark
Förutom
effect,
att det är skit.
providing a non-standard
Den
way to
typ
scale your build's
för
damage.
poison I
Hitting the
guess.
marked target
Eftersom att
also
du kan
refills
om
some
det
of
är
your flask
300% på först när de inte är
This new skill
poisonade.
opens up an extra source of damage for ignite or poison-focused characters, especially for ignite builds that want an alternative to flame
skit.
surge, or poison builds that cause fewer, higher damage poisons.
Sims OK är inte jättebra.
This high-level build uses Flame
Pizza.
Blast, with 100%
Flame
damage
Blast
converted to
poison.
chaos, to inflict huge poisons on enemies. When Alchemist's Mark is cast on an enemy first, that enemy drops caustic ground when it's poisoned, scaled by those big Flame Blast poison hits, melting everything into a puddle.
Pro.
Galvanic Field is a new shock-themed spell. When used, you gain a buff, granting a small bonus chance to shock. When you next shock an enemy, the buff is consumed and the enemy becomes energized, repeatedly zapping themselves and nearby targets, a lot like Ball Lightning.
Seems shit.
If the energized enemy dies, then the energy sits at their location and continues to zap things.
Kan den chaina eller något sånt där?
Galvanic Field's area of
Maybe.
effect and zap damage scale with the strength of the shock on the target. While Galvanic Field is great for any build that
Ja,
shocks,
det är
you
jävligt
can even
säkert.
fully build around it,
Jo,
and
men
use a
de
skill
gör ju
with increased shock
alltid
effectiveness like Arc, to
skitgarbage.
shock enemies and kill
Kanske
them with
borken
bullet
för Archmage build. Som
True.
supplementary. Typ single
Lightning
target.
Conduit is
eller
Han
another
något.
hade
shock-themed spell.
länkat på den.
A wave propagates out from the target location, causing lightning bolts to strike all shocked enemies in a large area.
What?
The damage is scaled by the strength of the shock on
Det där
each
ser typ
enemy.
burken ut.
Lightning Conduit cannot
Det är
itself
ju-
shock,
Förutom
and
att du
won't
måste
hit
kasta
non-shocked
någonting innan.
enemies at all.
Ja, men det är
The
typ
challenge
som
with
den
this skill
andra
is to
då,
find a
va?
way to consistently
Typ
apply powerful
supplementary.
shocks to your targets,
Runt,
to make the
beror
most
på
of Lightning
numren.
Conduit's high damage potential and area of effect. This high-level build uses wave of
Kan man inte
conviction
bara
to shock
chocka
enemies before casting Lightning
utan som
Conduit
annat,
until
typ
they're
nearby
obliterated.
shocken och fan det här.
For longer
Jo,
fights, it
men
can
du
employ Galvanic
får
Field
ju-
to
Stormskift,
create a
inte
constant
stormskift
source of
bara.
lightning damage.
Den chockar väl för typ 10% så du måste ha 1 miljon. Sån där
Last
grej.
but
Vad
not
heter
least,
det?
Overcharge Support is a new support gem that causes
Effect,
supported
I
skills to
think,
deal
I
less
don't know.
damage, but makes them inflict much stronger shocks and grants them a higher chance to shock.
Men chocka mitt
Overcharge lets many
rövhål.
different lightning skills create powerful shocks. Use this to take advantage of Shock's large damage multiplier, or to activate Lightning Conduit and Galvanic Field.
Både allt.
As Path of Exile expands, we often revisit
Wow,
previous
what a piece
leagues,
of garbage.
reworking them so they stay relevant and engaging. In Lake of Kalandra, we have
Revamp
targeted 3 such
content
leagues:
beyond.
Arch-Nemesis, Beyond, and Harvest.
Harvest
The larger
fortfarande in the
context here
game.
is that we've been
Cute.
re-examining what role rare and magic monsters have in Path of Exile. The introduction of Arch-Nemesis modifiers as the monster mod pool prompted quite a lot of discussion about how often you should encounter rare and magic monsters, how difficult they should be to kill, and how rewarding their death should be. Previously, League content made fights hard by spawning a lot of rare monsters.
Oh, you don't
A
say.
whole lot.
Really?
In some cases 6 to 8 times the normal rate of rare monsters.
Wow, no way. Never seen that.
Now that we have better mods available to make fights against rare monsters individually challenging, we have gone through the whole game and normalized the rate that rare monsters are spawned at. Some leagues had quite large reductions in spawn rate. You won't encounter situations with dozens of rare monsters on screen at once anymore. Alongside this reduction of how many rare monsters you'll face, we have improved their rewards and made sure that they scale with both difficulty
Wow,
of the
nu kanske
encounter
rare
and any
monster
item
kommer
rarity or
poppa ut
quantity bonuses
jättemycket
that you have.
items. Wow.
During the campaign,
Får
you'll
se nu
only
då.
encounter
Nu
one
ska han
or two
loota
mod
ut
rare
grejer.
monsters.
Oh my god.
The 2 mod encounters are a bit harder and have better drops.
Oh my god, en Chaos Orb och Porcupine God!
In maps, you'll stop encountering 1 mod rare monsters entirely, and will mostly encounter 2 and 3 mod rare monsters. It'll also be possible to encounter 4 mod rare monsters again. Not only are the innate
vad
item
värt det
bonuses
kommer
scaled
vara
up
att stå och slå på
significantly on
rares i
monsters with many
maps då,
mods,
alltså
but we have made
pullers.
these challenging encounters rewarding.
Nej,
in
vad är
another
det
way
jävla
too.
rare League Mechanic? Alltså jag förstår inte vad de vill alltså.
About a third of the more powerful
Men du,
arch-nemesis
han har ju
modifiers
droppat
now
2
use a
av 2
special
Chaos
reward
Orbs
conversion
och 2
system.
stycken, det är
For
eldborken.
example,
Ja,
if you defeat a
100%
monster with a Corruptor mod, all of its drops
Oh
become
my god, då
corrupted.
droppar en corrupted items, mer skit man inte kommer
The
se
Solaris
på
Touch mod
Gurs!
converts all of its item drops to maps.
Oh my
De la bara in
god!
League Mechanicen som var, wow.
The Katava Touch mod will cause the rarity of its drops to be upgraded by 1 tier,
God,
so
Katava
magic becomes
Touch!
rare,
Oh my
rare
god,
becomes
look
unique,
at
and so
that!
on.
Wow! Fullt med garbage! Yes!
If
Loot
you're
explosion
lucky,
of
you can find these
garbage!
conversion modifiers on both the 3rd and 4th mod of a rare monster.
Oh my god.
This causes them to stack together.
Åh, det här
So
kommer
if you
helt
kill a
korkat.
4 mod rare monster with both the Entangler and Katava Touched mods on it, its heavily juiced drops will also be converted to jewels with their rarity upgraded by a tier. Due to the high amount of inherent item rarity that 4 mod rare monsters have, this may result in several unique jewels dropping.
Oh my god, so many unique jewels, helt poggers. Wow.
This conversion
Oh,
system is
wait.
fully compatible with your item rarity and quantity bonuses,
Oh
as
my
well as the drop
god,
bonuses
don't have a
for all other
Magic Mine
arch-nemesis mods.
build! Yes!
Going forward, we want to make sure that a lot more
cool.
item reward mechanics scale with your character item bonuses. Get your Magic Find characters ready.
Yeah, dags att MFa!
As a result of this system, when you do encounter a rare monster with many arch-nemesis mods, you are well rewarded for the difficult fight.
Nej, det kommer man inte vara. No way. No fucking way.
We have also been listening to feedback about the arch-nemesis mods that can spawn on magic monsters. Too many of them had external visual clarity issues, like on-death effects.
Oh.
We have toned these down on magic
Visual
monsters so that more of them
clarity
are stat-based
issues.
bonuses that
EPOE.
aren't so spammy.
What?
Encounters that spawn a series of magic monsters. Now make sure to preserve the same arch-nemesis modifiers between the monsters rather than rolling a different one for each monster.
Hade inte blivit bara
This
satt
will
på.
further help keep the game state understandable in hectic situations. Beyond was introduced in August 2014,
Snälla.
initially as a
Ni
hardcore
förstör
only
inte
challenge league.
Beyond.
It's 8 years old now and certainly has several issues.
Nej, det har inte issues.
Nej.
Det är
Vad fan har
bästa
ni gjort?
League-mekaniken.
Have you
Ja,
ever
ta
really
bort
taken a
hast
close
och-
look at a Beyond demon? It is literally a bandit from Act 2, dunked in red paint.
Oh my god, wow. Det är ju fruktansvärt.
The
Han ser
second
inte
issue
cool
is its
ut.
balance. The number of magic and rare monsters spawned is so much higher than the rest of the game,
Jaha.
and whatever problems that resulted in before are magnified now that rare monsters are meant to be more difficult.
Ja.
Beyond also spawns way too many unique bosses, which
Ah,
causes its own set
järnspiken.
of issues.
Hatar när det händer.
In Lake of Kalandra, we have given Beyond much more than a fresh coat of paint. The Scourge have taken over the realm of the Beyond demons. The old bandit Beyond demons are gone. Summoning monsters from Beyond will now summon Scourge monsters and bosses.
Nej.
We have completely rebalanced the rate that Beyond monsters and bosses spawn at,
Oh,
so
jag
that it's
legit
appropriate for modern part
gråter.
of Exile. The new Beyond monsters can now occasionally drop the Scourge League's tainted currency items that allow you to
Wow,
modify
då
corrupted
kan man göra
items.
6 länkade grejer överallt. Helt jävla skitcoolt.
We've also completely revamped how harvest crafting works. Rather than being presented with a
Literally
selection of
everything is
crafting options
gone.
that must be used immediately, you now receive itemized tradable life force of the appropriate color.
Itemized tradable. Yay, mer
This
skit
life
att
force
ta
can
upp!
be used later, in your own
I'm so
time, before the
happy.
crafting bench in your hideout.
Whoa.
Its crafting options are now priced in terms of this itemized life force currency.
Oh. I
Tier 4
actually like
bosses are
that.
now encountered much more frequently.
Jag
and can
hade
drop a
mer
key to fight a
föredragit om de
shabby.
tog bort
She yields
skiten.
special life force
Ja men
which
det
can be
kommer man
used for a
göra,
specific
så
set
då
of
är det ändå
crafts.
bra.
Jo, men den nya League-mekaniken kommer vara
We
typ
have
basically
rebalanced all
nya
harvest
Harvest,
crafts
så
for
du
the
behöver
new
inte
system.
oroa dig!
We've removed a bunch of filler crafts and some ones with deterministic outcomes that were incredibly RNG gated before. Some
Om det
crafts that
inte
provide
hade
access
varit
to exclusive content,
fucking
like the special offerings to the
Splinters
goddess,
du
have
tog
been removed because these items
så hade det
cannot
varit
be
så
found in
jävla
more
mycket
appropriate
bättre.
locations elsewhere in the game.
Det är det.
The result of these changes is that when you complete a harvest, you aren't presented with 30 crafts, which must either be used immediately or unsafely traded to some player you found on a community Discord server.
På en community Discord server.
Every bit
Wow,
of
oh
life force you
really?
receive is going towards a craft that you actually want to use on one of your items.
Wow,
when you're
vill
ready
jag
to
använda
use it.
craft för att göra grejer? No
Your
way.
interaction with the
Vill jag inte
sacred
sitta och
grove is
runka i
now
en
far simpler
Discord?
as well. Just enter, pick your plots, defeat the monsters, and get on with your mapping.
Oh, wow, really?
Like with Arch Nemesis and beyond, we have also addressed the monster composition of Harvest's fights, so that it doesn't contain too many rare monster mods, and so that it is of appropriate difficulty for its rewards.
Fuck, nu vill jag inte spela
In addition,
bow.
the rewards for Harvest now scale with map quantity and pack
Om
det-
man ska buffa rare så
incentivizing you
här
to
mycket
reduce
kommer
your
det vara
maps.
jobbigt det där.
Det bara rinner
Previously, the
tårar
crafts
hos
you
mig
received were not
alltså.
scaled up at all if you played a harder map.
It's all gone.
Last week, we posted this expansion's character balance manifesto, which detailed the many changes we're making in Lake of Kalandra. There are plenty more changes, which we will include in the full patch notes that will be posted after this livestream.
Ja, men
But on this
yay.
stream, I'd like to talk about a few specific areas: minion itemization, Exalted and Divine Orbs, and the Trickster Ascendancy class.
Divine Orbs. Ja,
Historically,
får prata då.
minion builds have not been particularly reliant on the stats of their items. Most of the power of their minions came from their skill and support gems. This led to a few problems. Firstly, it gave them a bit of a free ride compared to most other character builds. And secondly, it meant that it was hard for minion players to actually specialize their character to be really, really good.
Ja,
We
jo.
want to solve both of these problems in this expansion. Path of Exile is a game about items, and that means that you will now be strongly rewarded for finding items that make your minions better.
Men man
It also
hittar
means
inga
that,
items i
like with other
spelet
builds, if you
som är
find good items, you'll
användbara.
be far more damaging and survivable than before. We described a variety of minion changes in last week's Character Balance Manifesto. Today I want to show you the new base item types we have added to help your minion itemization. We've added a new ring base type, the Bone Ring. This ring has implicit minion elemental resistances and can roll minion related modifiers.
Wow, poggers.
We've added level 20 and 50 versions of the Convoking Wand, called the Calling Wand and Covenant Wand respectively. Like the Convoking Wand, these new base types can roll minion-related modifiers. Some new minion-related mods have been added to the pool available to these wands, and some existing mods have been adjusted or made more common. We have repurposed the bone-themed spirit shields so that they have minion damage implicit
Wow!
mods rather than
Helt
spell damage,
poggers!
and can also roll minion-related mods.
Wow, helt jävla borken.
Alongside the stable of existing unique items, there's now quite a lot more base type support for minion characters, and good mods on those base types can stack up to some pretty large bonuses for your minions. I also wanted to discuss two of the rarest currency items in Path of Exile,
Före då.
Divine Orbs and Exalted Orbs. These actually have the same drop rate, but Exalted Orbs are worth so much more in trade because there's no easy vendor recipe for them, and because they're consumed when you craft certain meta mods onto items.
Före då.
Out of these two currency items, we would actually prefer the Divine Orb effect to be rarer, so that unique items with good rolls matter more, and so that players can exalt craft their items more frequently.
Men...
Va?
We are making two changes that will
Ja,
impact this.
före då.
Firstly,
What?
we are changing the cost of crafting meta mods so that they cost Divine Orbs rather than
Men
Exalted
det är
Orbs.
Va?
Wow.
Secondly, we are changing the
Nej,
6-link render recipe to
six-link
grant
recipe.
20 orbs of fusing rather than a Divine Orb.
Ja, 5 länkar då.
This change will result in Exalted Orbs being far more available for crafting, and Divine Orbs less available for re-rolling mods on items. It'll certainly be interesting to see what the de facto trade currency becomes next league.
We did it to change, I don't know, for the
Next,
lows.
I'd like to talk about the Trickster Ascendancy
Trickster,
class.
rädda
We haven't
världen.
been happy with the state of this Ascendancy class recently.
Ja,
While it used to be quite powerful, we moved its defining feature, Ghost Dance, onto the main passive skill tree. Since then, it has had a confused identity and hasn't met the power level of the other Ascendancy classes.
före då.
In this expansion, we have reworked the Trickster, with a focus on establishing thematically appropriate defenses and ways to manipulate speed. One step ahead allows the Trickster to manipulate time in an interesting way. Enemies are slower than normal and cannot have their action speed raised above this value, such as through an acceleration shrine. Conversely, The Trickster is
Wait.
faster by default,
Typ
and cannot
8%
have action speed
action
lowered
speed.
below this
Det är
value,
ju typ
effectively
get the
making him
tailwind.
immune to effects that lower action
Ja,
speeds
men
such as
man kan väl
freeze,
använda
chill,
det
or
där då
temporal
med
change.
self-temption, men det gör ju ingenting.
I
Spellbreaker
guess.
ties together spell suppression and energy shield in a powerful way. Spellbreaker grants some spell suppression chance, which is an effect that reduces damage taken from spells. The skill also starts your energy shield recharge half the time you suppress spells. Since Trickster characters tend to have a high evasion rating, you will be evading
Det är
some hits
playable,
and
ja.
recharging on others, meaning that your energy shield recharge stays active most of the time. Spellbreaker also further improves defenses by reducing the damage you take from suppressed spells while on full energy shield.
Båten är ju glad nu. Suppressa jävlar.
For those that want a different way to recover energy shield, the powerful Soul Drinker notable passive is no longer exclusive to forbidden jewels from the Uber-searing Exarch and Eater of Worlds. Any Trickster can now allocate this skill.
Ja, du får ES overleach.
Polymath provides more bonus damage, life, mana, and energy shield on kill for each different type of mastery you have allocated.
What?
What?
It reinforces the idea of a Trickster being a jack of all trades, and will lead to interesting decisions when planning your passive tree, trying
For
to fit in as
each
many different
type
types of
of
masteries as
mastery, ja det
possible.
är inte for each mastery, okej.
Overall, the new Trickster is
Mer
intended to be the Shadow's answer to
manageable.
the champion, but faster. He should be an exciting option for players who want to get a lot of evasion, energy shield, and recovery out of their Ascendancy class while still being able to melt enemies.
Gick de ens igenom alla nodes?
Alongside
Nej.
today's livestream, we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs, the Knight and Rogue packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value and points, plus several exclusive microtransactions.
I
These
don't
packs are
know.
only available during the Kalandra League and will leave the store forever in 3 months. Every microtransaction you're about to see is entirely cosmetic and does not affect your character's progression or power.
Wow. Oh my
The
god.
Knight pack series contains 6 exclusive
Kolla!
microtransactions, including the full Knightmaster armor set. The Aetheric Mana Flask releases a burst of mana upon activation, then draws in energy from the environment as your mana refills.
Fan vad värdelöst. Bort med skiten.
The Hoarder's Stash is a stash skin that can be used in your hideout. As you place items in the stash, they hover above it until you're finished, before being sucked into storage.
Fy fan vad useless.
This is the Knightmaster armor set. While wearing its helmet, your actions are periodically duplicated by an ethereal copy of yourself.
Alltså, puke.
The Blood-Scouring Cloak absorbs blood as you slay monsters. It tracks your kill streak and cleans itself off when the slaughter ends.
Ja men fy fan vad jävla...
The Ring of the
Garb
Victor
och
causes a
spam.
podium to rise up underneath you when you are standing
Alltså har
still,
de släppt
elevating
någon
you above other
MTX på
players.
länge som inte är någon jävla visual, jävla uber...
Men du måste ju hitta på något nytt och sälja bajs.
Ja men
tänker
vem
ändå
fan
köpa.
köper
Warlords Lieutenant
skiten?
Ja, folk gör det.
Ja,
men alltså-
cheer you on and commend you on your actions.
Får fan ont i ögonen, jag får ont i huvudet av att titta på skiten. Det är bara en visual jävla mess av skit.
The
Ja,
Rogue
i ett
pack
spel
series
där vi
has
har
6 exclusive
ingen visual
microtransactions,
clarity.
including the Rogue
Du
Stalker
kan betala
armor
för att få ännu mindre.
The
Poggers!
Beast of Burden Pit
Ja, men
visually
tycker det är
carries your
bra.
items
Det
for
är
you,
bra.
becoming more laden with bags and packs the more full your inventory gets.
En packåsna, den ska jag ha.
Pig Austen.
Okej, den var
The
helt
Collector
borken.
Serpent Shield covets the treasure you find. Whenever you pick up an item, the serpent darts out to grab it.
Jävla suction cup. Jag orkar inte, så jävla trash!
This is the Rogue Stalker armor set. While wearing its gloves, critical strikes cause blades to appear and slice at your enemies.
Så jävla turbo-skit.
The Corpse Bloom footprints cause exotic plant growth in your wake.
Jaha,
plants especially
då
love
kan du se
corpses
ground
and will
effects
seek them out
ännu
and grow in
mindre.
other patches around them.
För jag har aldrig hört någon klaga på att man inte kan se ground effects. Då kan du göra det ännu bättre. Alltså så jävla garbage.
On the other hand, the Undertaker's amulet inters corpses for you, burying them and marking their
Han har
location with graves.
omnissen, ser det ju ut som båten. Ah, men... Det är ännu mer anti-ground effect.
As your
Alltså,
life gets lower and lower,
de kan ju inte vara seriösa!
And when you die, your party members will certainly feel it.
Ja, då när du dör så kan de ju se vad som hände ännu mindre. Alltså
As I
lägg
mentioned before, these packs are
av!
exclusive to the Kalandra League, and will leave the store in 3 months. They're available right now at Path of
They're
Exalted
available!
contract
Köp allting
and they
båten!
directly fund the
Fort!
ongoing development of Path of
Och
Exalted 2,
equippa
and Path of
allting!
Exile
Så att
1
du inte kan
expansions
se
like Lake of
någonting! Let
Kalandra.
fucking go! Soltin har redan köpt
In
allting, jag kan
addition, the supporter
garantera.
packs introduced with a Sentinel
klart
expansion
de är.
are leaving the store forever in 1 week. Now's your last chance to purchase them.
Åh
and we greatly
nej! Då går jag
appreciate your
miste
support.
om de grejerna som jag... Wow! FOMO!
Speaking of things leaving the store,
Ja.
the Kirik's Vault Pass for Sentinel is only available for the next few days.
Nej! Kirax Vault Pass båten, vi måste köpa!
There's no
Logga
penalty for
in!
purchasing
Jag köpte inte ens
the
den
pass
första
later
när
after you've
Headhunter.
wrapped up
Nej jag
the
vet,
fish.
men vi måste
So
logga
if
in och
you're
köpa
principally
nu,
gotten
annars
maps
går vi
and
miste
Sentinel
om det
and want to lock in your
forever!
unique skins, it's not too late to buy
Det
the
vill vi ju
pass.
inte.
Nej jag vet. De ska inte få en jävla
Skulle ju-
peng av mig tills
Next
de
up,
har
we've got
spelet
the
i en
Q&A with
decent
Ziggy.
state, jävla
Once that
värdelösa
ends, we'll post the
horor.
full patch notes for Lake of Kalandra. Over the
de
next
får
week,
ändå
our
ingen
community
pengar.
team will post teasers for new and revamped new gadgets.
Och om jag
upcoming
installerar på
quality of
Steam
life
kan de
improvements,
få,
and an
hur många
announcement
pengar
for the
kan
League
de
launch
få?
race event.
155
On launch
euro
weekend, we'll be running
pengar
another
kan
set of
de.
Twitch drops.
Men det kommer
and
aldrig
expect to
hända.
release the new mystery box and
Nej,
Kirik's
för det är
Vault
att
Pass in
kasta
the days
pengar i
after
bajs.
launch.
Ja, om spelet inte var
Thanks for
skit kunde
joining
de
us
få hur
and
mycket
checking
pengar
out
de
today's
vill,
review.
men...
We can't wait to see you in Rayclass on August 19th.
Alltså my
We'll
god,
begin
so
the Q&A in a
fucking
few moments.
bad!
Please get your questions ready in chat.
So alltså... I don't know what to say.
Han såg ganska kiss.
Jag menar... Det här är full copium, men Archmage kanske är usable med någon av de nya skillen. Och man kan kanske göra någon cool Archmage-gubbe. Det är fucking full copium, men det spelar ingen roll för League-mekaniken såg legit turbo-skit ut. Det är typ... Tänk dig Alva. Du gillar ju inte Alva, men det är typ Alva fast du runkar mer.
Ja,
Och mer ofta också.
Gott.
Och sen la de in typ någon wannabe synthesis grej typ i dina maps. Typ en drop. Typ en map drop basically. Så går du till det respektive master. Så ska du trycka på dem, sen får du upp en sån där runk-screen som när man förut skulle gå till, vad är det de heter, Conquerors. Och sen får du rolla en fit map där, då får du typ en map chain du ska rolla, alltså. Ja, nej. I don't know.
G'day folks, Ziggy D here, welcome back Exiles. Chris, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Excellent to have you back for some Q&A action after some very big announcements. Firstly though, super exciting news about Exilecon returning next year. It's actually...
Båten, de ska släppa PoE 2! Close beta, vet du när?
That was...
Nästa år i juli! Oh my god!
Time for us last Exilecon, and you know, it's been a hard few years I think as well. So it hits kind of extra hard. What led to the decision to organize a new Exilcon now?
Well, we've wanted to run another one for a while, and it was unfortunate that immediately after the last one, there was a global pandemic and stuff, and that just made it too difficult to organize events, plus all of the safety issues. But things are looking both a bit safer, and we certainly have a lot of Path of Exile 2 stuff to talk about. And this kind of fits into the overall marketing plan for Path of Exile 2, is that next year is the year that we start to reveal pretty much everything. We're going to go through every game system, we're going to show all the areas, the classes, like... So much has changed since last time we talked about it. Like, it has evolved to be a bigger thing, and we want to talk about that in detail. And so we're going to start the marketing. Everything's going to debut at Exalecon 2023. And it's an opportunity people can play the basically complete game at that stage. We can announce when the beta date's starting. We can go through panels of all of the things. And then we can
kickstart
marketing and show people in other territories. You know, I think there's Gamescom, PAX West, and so on, various other places that we can then take that to after Exalecon.
I guess it's a pretty firm-ish timeline for PoE2 then, which is very exciting.
We won't be releasing it before July next year, that's correct.
That's true. We've been holding our breaths, I think, since last Exilecon. That was like such a huge reveal then, but a lot of what was revealed has kind of leaked its way in game.
Nej, jag mutar bara det där och kollar på hemsidan istället. Alltså. So bad. Där man kollar Sentinel, Watch Livestream. Vart kollar man? Read more, är det där? Var det inte någon som länkar hela skiten här uppe? Där. Nähä, jo här. So fucking bad. Alltså. Bla 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 bla. Garbage. Kan man få se någonting? Garbage, garbage.
Var det här memory, var de tradable eller?
Ja, det var de. De sa att de skulle vara rare och de kommer in i core-spelet. Men de sa ju att Sentinel-grejer man inte skulle ha infinite av dem om man oversustainade det med typ 10-1. Även om det bara tog upp bra så I wouldn't count on it. Tror det bara kommer bli full med skiten. Plocka upp 1 miljon.
Ja, basically ännu mer skit då som man ska ha.
Yep.
What?
Gain 1 flask charge when you hit a cursed enemy. No more than once every 3 sekunder. Wow! Helt borken.
Jag vill se Atlas skill tree så jag kan få ultimatum.
Jag håller på att svimma.
Vill du köra ultimatum med mig?
Nej, alltså vad är ens meningen med att de ger tillbaks Trialmastern om Hateforge är helt garbage? För de nerfade väl dem till grounden?
Nerf.
Gjorde de inte det direkt ligan efter, eller typ mid-ultimatum, eller vad fan det var? De fucking totalgattade väl dem?
Nej, det var en specifik bild med dem de gattade. Tror jag. Men de var fortfarande playable för en.
Supported skills have chance to shock. Supported skill deal less damage. Supported skills shock enemies as dealing 500% more damage. Wow. Så då kan du max chocka helt på grus. Wow. Gör den verkligen inget annat. Fy fan vad tråkigt. Conduit. Deal damage cannot inflict shock. The spell cast time is added to its cooldown if triggered. What? 10% more damage with hits per 5% effect shock of enemy. Okay. I don't know. Can target each enemy only once every 0.7 sekunder. Fan, that's rush. You get 10%. I don't fucking know. What? De har ju inte ens någonting här. Jo, här. Garbo. Garbo, Garbo. The Tower of Ordeals. Show... Fucking puke. Finns någon cool modifier. Skill... Increase skill effect duration kan du ha på ring eller reduced. Wow, puggers. Blir legit 2 ligor skip. Eller vad blir det? 3? Eller ja, nej 2. Alltså,
of not putting a reflection on the tablet. And so it in some ways rewards less micromanagement than usual, just getting in there and killing some monsters. But there'll be opportunities, of course, where people can micromanage it a little bit.
Yeah, well, that kind of segues into my next question, was like, how do you balance something like this between the people that want to just kind of jump in and run some fun content versus the people who really want to think about it and min-max it and make it super challenging, that sort of thing?
I think you'll find cases where you want to opportunistically improve your tablet. So if you were to sit there just skipping lots of choices, trying very hard to get the things that move stuff around, you'd take forever to complete a tablet. And maybe you'd get one that's really cool and worth a lot, but you could have done 2 tablets in the same time. But you'll find situations where you realize, if I just swap this entrance location, it juices half the encounters on the tablet by a huge amount. And with one small change, or maybe moving one of the water tiles around to make a really long windy path around it, those kind of things there will let a person who's thinking about it deeply get a lot of extra value from the tablet. But to be completely honest, the way I'm playing it is slap some reflections on there and then go and struggle to complete them. So yeah, it's only really the skilled players who are the ones who are going to want to be juicing it all the way.
That sounds familiar. How many maps does it take on average to build a mirrored lake at endgame?
So in the end game, there's approximately 11 or 12 blank tiles to fill in. The tablet size varies a little bit as it gets larger as you progress through. You'd normally get about 2 reflections per map, and so that's approximately 5 to 6 areas for each lake tablet that you want to build. So this is about twice as often as Incursion, where you'd be getting an Incursion temple every 11 areas or so. So we've doubled the rate that you're doing that, and these can be saved up. So it's entirely possible to just stack up a giant pile of maps of lakes, in your stash and come back to them later on if you want to. And of course, they're fully tradable. So if you want to run a lot more lakes, you can just buy them from the trade side, basically.
That's great. How does the mirrored lake building and running work for co-op?
Well, whenever you find a mirrored tablet, everyone in your party gets to improve their tablet. So if you're running through an area together, whenever you get the ability to place a reflection down, everyone can do it on their own tablets. And then at the point that they decide to run the tablet, all the party members can take part in it.
We've already got some questions coming in from chat. Someone asked, how does the edge of the terrain in the mirror of Kalandra area affect things like projectiles like spark bouncing off them and things like that? Can you shoot over these areas? Is it like a hard invisible wall?
I believe that there is projectile transmissibility over them, so you can fire projectiles without hitting a hard wall. I'll do the obligatory dev check to confirm that. Okay, good. I know what's going on there. There will be some invisible wall far off in the corners of the lake, but it will not affect your gameplay.
Great. Crowfire asks, does the mirror ring for Kalandra mirror unique rings? Actually, I have my own question about this, so I might as well...
wow, varför alla dropp men inte jag? Oh my god, vad
how does
ledsen
the
jag blir.
mirror of Kalandra ring work when you have a unique ring like Snake Pit, where in the right slot, it adds an extra chain, but then in the left slot it does something else? Does it mirror the right slot effect, or does it mirror what would happen if it was in the left slot?
It's exactly as though you had another copy of that ring equipped. One way to look at it is, imagine you took a mirror of Kalandra and you applied it to the ring, and then you equipped that mirrored copy.
Ah, okay, there you go. So probably not worth doing it on a unique like that then. But given that it can mirror theoretically the best ring in the game, I guess, so it does work on uniques, but you probably might be better off in some cases.
And it's
using
dynamic as well, of course. You can take it, mirror your ring, mirror a different one, trade it to someone else. It's not locked in like an actual mirror is. But of course, only works on rings.
That's pretty awesome. Aldersberg asks, are there any Lake of Kalandra mechanics timed? Oh, any of the Lake of Kalandra mechanics timed?
Not that I'm aware of. We tried very hard to not have this be a timed league.
Great.
Are you aware of any that are timed? Stuff like Delirium. Yeah, right. Things like Delirium or Breach, where if you pop a Breach open, obviously it's going to close with the normal timing that league has, but there's no specific benefits of it going fast apart from everything, is a lot better.
Jag gillar att de fixade Headhunter förra ligan som bara bajsade på den här.
Vad sa du, de fixade vad?
Headhunter förra ligan och nu är den bajsat på i alla fall.
Ariador asked how big is the lake?
Ja du. Ja, inga ord.
Or dead.
Well, actually playable för bara.
The footage that we showed in the trailer and the live stream, each basically is
alltså vad är det de tror att det där Exalted Divine skiten ska göra? Tror de att folk ska crafta med Exalts eller? Det kommer användas
precis. Mer meta-mods är väl det som
men det är det enda Exalts används till, så det kommer ju inte göra någon skillnad eller vad? Folk kommer vara mindre rädd för att använda skiten eller vad? I don't get it.
Jag kommer inte stocka på Exile då, tror jag.
Feels kind of gauntlet-y.
Det är true.
Man måste skam man på det.
Honestly, they're a lot of fun to play through. It's quite a cool mechanic.
I don't know.
Awesome.
Seems
I'm
fucking
really
trash.
I'm also really looking forward to the fact that there's new crafting mechanics. You guys have been
Hur ska du farma Divine då nu när corruptade sexlänkar inte då blir kukar?
Det var kort. Finns det något kort
but
man
you
kan
also
farma?
hinted at some unique bases. Are these separate to the
Alltså jag håller på att
previously
svimma
announced
so
new rules?
fucking
Yeah, there's 5
bad.
more ring base types that you can get from this league, and basically they crop up in the window when. So there's 2 crafting encounters. The first one will provide you with 2 rings or amulets, and it
David
chooses.
länkade
And the other one, which is
grejen.
much harder to get and much more
Trickster
valuable, is where you
skiten, vad är
bring
det
your
då?
own. And in the one that provides you, occasionally, and of course this is the kind of thing that's proportional to difficulty, like you want to be encountering this in harder encounters. This, in proportion to difficulty, will occasionally generate one of these new base types that have some pretty interesting properties. And I think people should always look at the announcement page that we make, pathofexile.com/kalandra, because we like to hide away things like hovers for the base types and stuff.
200% charge
Lots of extra
duration
information
båten
and
och
cool
plus
things people
2
can see by seeing
maximum
this, including one of
frenzy
those
charge.
extra
Oh
rings.
my
You can see what it
god.
does.
Are you doing any more
Trickster
like secret
Borken.
hidden things on those pages? Like you did that one time. I think it was with Scourge or something.
No comment.
That was fun. I liked that.
I did actually have to get the team to remove a secret hidden thing from the page that was too
Whoa.
secret. Players can
Whoa.
find that in game.
Harsh.
I don't know, Trickster ser inte så jätterolig ut.
Are there any new
Ja,
rare
bara den där.
modifiers, or is this
David
mostly about
länkade.
scaling mods
inte
beyond their
kolla.
regular power levels? Like we saw 105 strength on a ring, for example.
Other than the implicits on those new ring-based types, of which there are 5 sets, there are no new rare modifiers that spawn on the items, and that's mostly because getting things like +2 skills.
Ska jag spela min bild eller?
Life on rings and amulets
Caustic.
is bonkers, so, yeah,
Nej, den
like,
funkar inte ens med den här.
the
Så jag
dream
kan inte
here is
spela.
that you get one where
Nej,
the
men
drawbacks,
då
like let's say you're
spelar
playing a
ingenting.
resolute technique character and you don't care about crit, and you also get like some damage over time.
Plus
stuff,
2
and
max
those things
friends
are
är väl ganska
reduced.
borken?
You weren't using them in the
Vad
first
sa du,
place, you were
få?
playing some other build.
Plus
and
2
everything
max
else
friends
is
är väl inte
reduced
så
up to
dåligt
more
då?
than double what it
Är
initially
det
was.
inte?
So you can definitely get some
Men
really
ja.
blindingly powerful rings and amulets. And the other thing is you actually get because you get a choice of 2, you kind of get 2 shots at it. Like if you're unlucky and the wrong things are picked, they may have also been positive on the other side.
Yeah, that's gonna be some big gambles.
Vad kör man? Då kör man suppress-grejerna. Fast man måste basically köra ganska mycket E.
Reflecting Mist, which is the one that lets you bring your own
Kör typ
version
hybrid med
craft.
ghost dance.
Or will there just be a stash available?
Det är väl
Ja, men
det
de tog ju bort den där
man
modden.
Crafting mechanics like this?
Vadå,
So that one's
modden?
only available in
Gravicious
mirror tablets that are
mod.
assembled from
Just den som
Spelar
är
det förhållande
Lifeless
till
X.
bara
The
hybrid
tablets
gear?
are itemized, and
Jo,
it's
det kan
always
man
there
Du
for the
kan
encounter
ju,
that has
kommer ju
it.
fortfarande
So
vilja ha
basically,
din
you'll be
jävla
able to
suppress
see on a
garbage
tablet that you're
evasion
about to
och
run, or one that
ES
you're
och
trading
så
for
har du ju
that
nära
has
till
that. And this means
ghost
you can
dance.
either know in advance that it's
Ja, och den där nodden är jävligt bra. Men vad kör man? Man måste ju köra skateboard och spellbreaker.
Because you've got your 6 map portals,
Man måste
if you
köra
completely
spellbreaker,
forget
måste
and you
man.
run into this encounter, you can at worst
Early
start
on måste
using
man
a
väl
portal and
basically
come back in with the item
delete.
you need.
Sen beror det väl
Okay,
på
great.
vad du har.
The fact that you know ahead of time, I think, so.
Så man kör det och så sen,
You
vad
can
kan jag köra
go
för
list one of
bild
your
i så
current
fall?
items potentially, you
Men
know,
du
just
ska inte
pick a
köra en
current
jävla
amulet and see what happens.
Digster.
Can you mirror
Den där
all
polymath kan
mirror
väl vara helt borken.
unique,
Man kan väl ha
like,
10
original
masters.
amulet?
Då får du fan 30%
Men det måste ju vara
And
olika
like,
masteries, det är ju
Rig
det det står.
combinators,
Aha.
we wanted to allow crazy,
okej,
where
okej,
you
jag
can
trodde
do
Eller
det
vänta,
well,
vi står...
well,
Är det
you've
det
seen
det
what
står?
Ja,
Rig
det är det.
combinators
Så
can
där.
do.
Each different
But we
type,
had a
ja.
look here because this is already doing.
Så jag menar, vad har
Ja,
du
men då
typ?
kör man ju basically
Now
Swift
working on
Killer
other items,
one
and
step
influence
ahead
items
och så
and
kör
corrupted
man
items and
Spellbreaker och
synthesized
skateboard.
jewelry. A
Det är
lot
väl
of
typ-
features that
Det är
we
helt
don't really
värdelöst.
nuts.
4-5
Having said
master...
that, it
Eller hur
can
många
still do some
different
broken
masteries
stuff
har
with
man?
just general
to be honest.
Jag kollar på den där bilden jag hade.
Double half
Ja,
mods
det är bara
is
kolla.
Ja, den.
completely
Det är väl typ-
unprecedented, and you don't
Jag
really
skulle
need
gissa
influence
typ
mods
3
in
till
play,
6.
and
Jag
you're
tror
getting
inte så
vast
mycket
amounts
mer,
of life
eller?
and resists and other types of damage.
And there was a new oil to anoint mirrored items, since we're getting so many this league, and you're like, oh, I didn't oil it first. Is that like super rare, or is that pretty accessible?
It's roughly as available as the
Both
tainted oil. You
usual
don't need to
build
complete
import.
corrupted blighted maps. You can just get it from
Nej,
regular blighted
Gorkan,
maps.
vi gillar both
And of
usual
course, the
build.
intention here is that now that there's a lot of mirrored amulets floating around
En,
from this crafting system, you don't feel like you're missing out on an anointment by
Två,
using one of those.
Aula
tre,
asks, is there a
fyra,
plan for the
fem,
quarry or
sex,
glacier run to the
7,
tablet mirror and not kill monsters? This is like quarry farming
8.
mirror. How does the mirror
9.
spawn? Like the tablet spawn, I should say.
Och jag kan ta 10 i så fall också.
My understanding is that
That's
the
not so
that
bad,
the
det är
mirror tablet
basically
does not
plus
spawn
en
if you're
gamlänk.
massively over level for the area,
Yeah.
which is what we've done
Och så
for
blir det
years with
10%
Galvanic
life on kill,
That may mean
E
that
som
you can
kill,
essentially
mana on
assemble
kill.
pre-map tablets.
Ja,
I'm not
för
sure
basically alla
how
monster jag tar är olika.
punitive we've come down on that, but they won't have the various reflections that can occur
That's
in map
actually not
content.
even that
So by
bad
playing
then.
pre-map
För jag
ones, you
antar den
A,
typ
can't itemize them,
bra,
you have to
eller
run
ja,
on the spot
typ
because to
är väl
stretch
value om du har typ
map
4
and
masteries
above
och den börjar
tablets
väl
are
bli bra
itemizable.
efter 5-6.
Campaign ones have to be played as you complete them. So it's
Ja,
not a
men då
direct
kan man
farming
inte köra den där
campaign.
plus 2.
Having
Jag
said that,
fick
there
ett
will be
dropp
extra
åt den!
rewards just for
Hämta!
regular rewards rewards.
Hämtar jag också.
Yeah, we've mostly seen
Skicka ett meddelande, kan jag få läs? Hur fixar jag det här?
When the mechanic rewards a lot of
Låt
generic
chatten se
currency.
dina
Do
splitter
you think
nya
that'll be
om
the
det,
case here, or
det finns i ditt
I mean, the
dropplager.
encounters are rewards,
Läs
of course,
mer.
but
Ja,
The
vart är mitt
rewards are generally
dropplager
themed
då?
around the type
Ja,
of content it is, right? Like if you're
försvann det
playing a
där.
breach
Ja.
encounter, you're getting splinters and that kind of
Ja,
stuff as your reward from that, which of course is, you
Vart
know,
är mitt...
fungible with generic currency. You can certainly trade that.
Jaha, men jag kan inte
But my advice would be
copy-pasta.
just push onto
Hur
maps and
copy-pastar
actually
jag då?
play properly, and you
Jag
get
fick
plenty
inte
of
se, men
atlas. Like
tack
we're
så
not in a
mycket,
map
glad jag.
starvation kind of system at the moment. Like you've got
Yep.
drifts of white maps to play if you really want an easy encounter.
Speaking of mapping, let's talk about some endgame improvements, in particular the Atlas memory system. What sort of goals did you have with this new system? They seem like they would help with both pacing of the endgame mapping, but also creation of like a story thread to follow between chunks of maps. Not much else is happening potentially.
The Atlas memory stuff is really cool, actually. Like, I'm low-key as excited for this as I am for the actual league itself. It's just that because they're quite endgame and, you know, moderately rare, it's something that only, you know, people that actually get into red maps and stuff will be interacting with, so it's not quite as broadly applicable as the league. But the important part is we promised that every expansion we're doing until Path of Exile 2, we're going to try to make some improvement to the endgame. And so this is an alternate way of playing through content you're familiar with, but with a twist. And we've designed these to be fun, rewarding, and kind of crazy. Like, we're low-key hoping that certain team members don't actually check these out before release, so we can release them in a really punchy way, because I get the feeling that the fun police may try to turn a few of them down. So an example was I was playing one yesterday where I was asked, can you please try this one and let me know if you think it's over the top? And I join that one, and the theme of it is that there are gangs of rogue exiles that you find like in roaming packs that are trying to hunt you down. And the map I played had 100 rogue exiles in it. Now I can't promise it's going to release with that number, but it was certainly nuts. And so I kind of want to emphasize these aren't incredibly common in maps, right? Like you do have to play a bunch of maps to find one. And because there are a bunch of different types of them individually, it's hard to actually get the one you want. And so because of that, we can just go a bit overboard with the rewards. Like we can do crazy stuff, and it lets us also, like, here's a key thing with the endgame stuff this year. You have to juice your Atlas to get full rewards from content. And that means that if you want to try out, what is it like to have some silly breach stuff going on? You have to go and specialize your Atlas in breach, and that requires a bunch of respecking. With Atlas memories, you can just go and find a breach memory, and that's essentially fully juiced for the most part. Like obviously it varies from one to one, but our goal here is you are not missing out on anything by not specializing because your Atlas doesn't apply to it. And so you get some pretty nuts stuff going on. Some of them make
doesn't
it
apply.
god power-wise, like there are ones who are
Applies
entirely about
inte,
some
men
cool
du
thing
får
happens to
typ
you and you
alla
get to go
notes.
Då kan det vara kul med lite break,
you'll see some
alltså typ att man kör
situations
det
you don't
någon
really see otherwise. Yeah, there's some
Maybe.
really cool stuff in here. I
Men
kind
du
of
måste
don't want to spoil
fortfarande...
because I'm
Nej,
looking
vänta,
forward
nej,
to
det
the
var den.
moments
Nej, det var
on
De
Twitch streams
16
where
to play,
people
ja.
find these that everyone's like,
Nej, jag tror
what is
inte.
happening here?
Great.
Yeah,
För
and
det är
of course it's a good
inte
opportunity
typ en
to
map
explain
i
the backstory
Atlasen,
of
det är typ
NPCs, right? Like an example is
grunken.
one of the people here who has Atlas memories. In fact, I can talk about who has them.
Typ
In
som
this,
ett
in this set of
Alva
Atlas
Tem...
memories,
Nej,
it's Kirik
nej, jag vet
and
fan.
Alva and Einhar and Nico are the four that we went with. And this means we can do more in the future with other NPCs. But everyone loves Einhar and his craziness, and his interaction with these things that he barely understands himself, but certainly wants to make friends with all the beasts.
Everybody
in is
loves
quite cool.
Einar. Nej, det är nog bara
Someone like Kirik,
Pallet
for
och
example,
vem fan mer gillar
you know,
Einar.
he's running the military side of the Atlas exploration. He's got a vast
Magnus
backstory of
tror
what
jag
happened
gillar dem.
leading up to his, you know, ability to have this role at the moment. So this explores a few of the things he's done in his youth and interesting things he's encountered in all the mapping that he's done.
Ska jag bara
I'm
köra
really
min
excited that
bild,
you're,
William?
expanding out like the lore and story
kolla
of the
patch
endgame stuff.
Du
'cause
vill ju
we mentioned
spela i alla
Synthesis
fall,
earlier
det
with
är...
Kalandra, but that was another big part of Synthesis is it had
Jag
a
vill testa
ton
ner,
of
typ.
lore for like characters and mapping and stuff like that has kind of disappeared. So
Det var man kör
I'm glad that we're
först.
getting something back.
Synthesis
cool.
is actually quite important.
Det lär ju vara
component of
basically
Atlas lore to
one
to
step
market.
ahead.
Yeah.
And you know, it's
Sen
not off
kör
the
man
cards to
typ
bring Synthesis back.
Polymath,
Like,
sen
us doing Lake of
Swift-killer,
Kalandra
och så
doesn't
kör
mean
man
we're not gonna
sista
potentially do
skateboard
that.
och så
It's just
skiter
that
man i
these things
Spellbreaker.
happen to be
Japp.
moderately similar, so it does scratch the itch a bit, but in a much more accessible way.
Frågan är om det ens är mer damage än vad det var förut.
You mentioned
Det är
that
frågan.
this mechanic also helps a bit with like the concept of
Ja,
Atlas
minns
passage
inte
tree
ens
lock-in.
vad
Have you also
den
given
där
any
har
thought
just
to
nu,
the
för
idea
den är
of
så
like
jävla skit.
separate Atlas tree loadouts or separation between characters and their different trees?
Den som
Yeah, this is
finns
one of
nu
those
är ju
difficult
plus en max
challenges
frenzy
where
plus
there's
en
a
max
lot of reasons why we
power.
can't trivially just say,
Sen har du ju
pull out
prolonged
trees.
pain, då får du
In
skill
principle,
effect
this
duration
idea is not
och 20% more damage over time.
If people want trade to be a lot easier,
ja,
we'll
det
set them
basically
on a
Patient
politable
Reaper
throne and tell them in
blir...
detail about how wrong they are.
Ja,
But
där
for
får du
this,
basically
know, we
Men du
sympathize
tappar ju 20%
with,
damage over
the
time. Du får
concept
30%
that you
mer
want to
damage
have
over
multiple
time.
Atlas trees because they're running multiple
Eller
characters in that league,
plus
or they want
30%
them
mer
for revamps
damage
and
och
so
så
on.
sen får
But there are
du...
no changes at this stage related to
Vad får
it.
du med?
It's something we'll keep discussing.
Plus 2 frenzy får du av
The
den.
Atlas memories
Så
give all
vad är det
the
du får
maps for
gratis?
free. You can like craft them in a
Får
little
ju
window and
vad är
everything,
det
which seems like a nice
action
buff to
speed
map progression.
skiten om nu är
Sustained
den
is
Action
so
speed
hard
skiten.
these days, but still
Och så
getting
får du
those
mer-
Funkar sånt
unlocks.
på
Do these
mindthrowing-speedarna
counters, like,
ska
your
jag väl
Atlas
inte
Ja,
counters
köra.
det
maybe these
tror jag.
maps?
Yes. I should
Yeah.
note though, they
För
only spawn in quite high
Miners
maps, and they
spelade
are
ju
quite valuable.
Icicle
So you're probably
Miners
gonna have
körde
a
ju
completion by the time you
Dead
get them. This
Die
is not a
förut,
thing where you're
minns
completing a
jag.
white maps
Så
where
rätt
that's like...
säker på det.
Oj,
för
just
mig.
I forget
Men vadå,
these
kan man inte bara köra typ de här jävla metacook miners på den där? Behöver inte ens vara overtime nu eftersom overtime-noden är borta.
Now you have to apply it to a
Vad är det för
Man kanske
miner?
än är miner.
Seismic miner, eller är det det ska köra?
Nej, men den där jävla Eye of Winter verkar ju helt jävla OP.
Ja, men kör Eye of Winter, Trickster.
I haven't actually
kan du
fact
suppressa
checked that, but it's
jävel.
more of a,
Bom,
this is
bom,
how it's
bom.
meant to work, and so you
Ge
know,
bort
we'll confirm.
Spellbreaker.
Like,
Fast jag kommer
we'll
inte köra
announce it, but it's
Spellbreaker.
not going to work like that. But my understanding
Jo,
is
du
it should
måste. För den ger ju suppressbåten, du gillar press.
Och
Do
man
the
kan få suppress
memories,
utan.
like,
Ja, men det
avoid
skiter
each
väl
other
du i,
on the
den
physical
förväntar ju
atlas,
mer
and does that mean you can do
suppressing.
some weird, like, memory
Men det
blocking
betyder att
or
jag
something
måste
like that by playing
full
multiple
energy.
Och sen gör den
We
ju...
looked into
Nej,
that,
behöver
but
inte. Sen
instead
ger den
we
ju
used
Jo, annars får du inte
chance to
preventa.
energy shield recharge rate when you start.
Jo, det är ju borken, men det är inte så jävla... Det är bara vissa grejer är bra.
Vadå vissa grejer? Om du tar spell damage
Nej,
och
men vissa
startar
bossar
den
är det
grejen
väl-
så är det ju helt borken. Det är, säger du att det inte är det?
Men det slutar ju...
How do you get them, by
Det
the way? They
slutar ju
just
om du tar damage igen.
Yep, they drop. Not
Okay,
now expectations are set.
Ja, vad är det wordinget på den där staven
What
som ju
happens
var
if you
helt
fail, and can
borken
you fail,
då?
I guess? The Atlas memory map thing.
Singwills Crank
can
eller vad
still
den
run out of
heter,
portals,
för
but you
den
can
är ju
still play the
borken.
next
Ah,
one
det är att
so
det inte är
it gives you your
interrupted, ja.
entitlement of having the
Just det,
ability
okej.
to try to go for the
Då
rewards.
Men
kanske
finns det inte såhär
inte-
if started recharge reason? Finns det inte någon sån grej?
Jo, den inte typ kan bli interrupted. Ja, Wicked Ward skiten, ja, just ja, så är det
Ja,
väl.
just. Wicked War blir väl borken med.
Ja, fast då måste du nog typ på ringar och någonstans i träd och lite sånt där så att det ger recharge
Energy
rate.
shield recharge is not interrupted damage taken if recharge began. Det är faktiskt ganska bra.
För då får du ju ett till layer of defense.
So,
Yep.
my
Nej, just det, jag vet ju varför jag inte
we
kan köra.
did change
Kan inte
Ingen
köra
damage.
right?
Nej, men de tar ju bort reservation nodes, så jag har ingen aning. Fast jag kör inte ens den, står det här. What?
So less so for Arch Nemesis, but for Harvest and Beyond there were changes related to the passives. I don't think we released the Atlas tree before release. I'm not sure. That's a good question as well. So either way, it's changes
kommer
in
köra
line with
Conquerors
the
of
theme
Fish.
of what we've been doing with these
Eller,
leagues, so
rip
it's not going to be too surprising.
Vadå? På vadå?
The Tower of Ordeals,
Replika
the ultimate
Kong
boss fight.
Fish.
Yeah, it's back.
För miner
It's
eller?
created from
Ja.
difficult
jag
endgame Val content was the terminology. Is
det.
this like Val Temple
I
maps or is
think.
it something else?
We want people to work it out. Like, it's a variety of stuff. So to be clear about how this works, you do several pieces of content, you get some pieces that you can put
ska vi
together,
testa?
like making Harbinger uniques, you place them next to each other in the
Nej.
inventory. And
Inte enligt PB eller?
it's, you know, go play some Val
Alltså,
content,
jag-
see what drops, post it on Reddit.
Skit PoE!
For these. Okay.
Yeah, I should clarify with that Atlas tree question, the details will probably be in the patch notes that we're posting as soon as we finish talking, so...
Sluta prata då, ge mig patch notes din jävla hora.
It sounds like there's some so as there's like some sort of creation process here. Does that mean we can influence the roles on the map in any way, or are those?
Hej
random and we
båten!
get what we
Har du
get?
tänkt på det om Exalts då går ner i value? Fattar du Headhunter 400 Exalts? Buggers!
Complete set
Ja,
of content
fan vad
many
nice.
times.
Eller så kan du trada det mot
Right,
Divine.
on new and rebalanced techniques now.
Oh my
We
god,
asked
jag
about the
orkar
rings, so like, let's get that
inte.
on. But is the lower drop rate of uniques global, or is it specific to the newly buffed uniques? And does it affect unique drops from specific bosses at all?
So it doesn't affect guaranteed boss drops. It is a global change, but we've gone through and reassessed the rarity of each unique. Like, we've kind of taken the old system, put it to one side, gone through every unique and said, why is this one quite rare? We should have it be common, and so on and so on. And overall, this means that you are finding fewer uniques per hour that you play.
De har
The
giga
difference
nerfat
between
Headhunter
uniques is
drop
quite staggering.
raten, säger de.
I would much rather find
Nice.
one item per time period that I can actually use or has some trade value, rather than, and hypothetically,
Nice.
a bit more than one item, which is probably useless. And so it does feel quite different now. And yeah, no one likes to hear the drop rates have been reduced, but the game was really spamming you with uniques, and it's probably gone over the top. And that's because we don't post in the patch notes every time we implicitly increase the drop rate of uniques in the past. We just happen to increase it too much.
When you make a change like this, do you think, people are going to have less alks? And then like change the drop of alks or something? Or
there were other currency items I was focusing on this league.
Indeed. So you've got a long list of uniques getting changed here, but as mentioned that there are just many more in the game. There's so many now. And I think that whenever you do like a big list of buffs like this, and the buffs themselves are pretty substantial for the most part, people can feel a bit sad about whatever ones didn't make the cut, for example. I don't think I saw Voltaxic in that picture.
Håll ställningarna så går jag och hämtar en glass.
Glassar.
Jag ska hämta en sandwich. Jag är så deprimerad. Bra va?
Uniques and other expansions. We're just not sure of the timing of it. I mean, we've done unique revamps in the past. There's an expansion where we happen to have balance capability lying around in the unique department that we could use for this, and it felt like the right time for it. So yeah, expect more improvements, but we're not promising that we'll do every other unique in the next one.
People want to know what the process is for creating unique items for Uber Pinnacle bosses, like their design, working with members of the community, and how that's all going. We had one new on this league, it looked like.
We have been running a league launch race boss kill event thing for the last couple of leagues, and the way that works is that historically for the last two, people who were the first to kill all of the Uber Pinnacle bosses got ranked in order and then had the ability to design unique items. And that's resulted in some really cool stuff, like the Zizaran gloves that are in this expansion and a bunch of ones in the last one. But we ran into some problems. The first problem was that the same people are having to make the same uniques, and while they have won the competition multiple times, the same people are getting to make multiple uniques, which isn't a problem from a fairness point of view because they're winning the competition, but it's a problem when Ben gets to make like half a dozen or something like that, because he will run out of ideas after a while. In addition, these content creators, and they're often content creators who are winning these because of skill and so on, often don't have the time to actually fully engage with our design team in the relatively time-consuming process of making these because there's other things happening. And so we only had one out of a backlog of I think 6 or 7 pending uniques actually make it in. And so
we're going to
sandwichbåten. A deadline on it where the creators who still have uniques pending there, we're going to release them in the next expansion without input. Ideally, they will. We're contacting them basically, but yeah, ideally you've got months to actually go and get it, the process finished. But we are planning to actually release these because the players want their uniques, and we're going to give them. So the earlier and faster you can work with us, the more stuff we get in. Now we will be running another race event at the start of this league.
Wow, race event!
And we'll be talking about that this week, but we're not going to be giving out more unique design slots at this stage, partly because we still have a whole bunch we need to finish. And so we found some other cool stuff that people will probably enjoy, and we'll post about it in the news this week.
All right, get on it, eh? Get on it, guys. All right, let's talk about some skills and support gem stuff. Alchemist Mark is one of the new revealed Mark skill, taking the Floss charge generation off what used to be on Poachers, I believe, or I can't remember which one it was. Poachers. It also creates a ground effect based on like the biggest ignite or poison on an enemy. This seems very good for like ignite builds or big single hit poison builds, but doesn't seem very useful for most poison builds, which scale by stacking a lot of smaller poisons. Is this the case, and is that just okay?
Yeah, the goal here wasn't to just say all poison builds have an extra thing that they have to stack on in addition to everything else. The goal here was to enable builds to exist that use single big poisons and ignites. So we're trying to open up more space here rather than just buff an archetype.
Oh, that's true. Like, we saw like the Flame Blast poison stuff. Does that mean Consuming Dark is one of the changed uniques, by the way? It's alright, don't worry.
I think that all the changed uniques are listed in the patch notes. And for reference, I would much rather just say they're in the game, go have fun, but we have listed every change as far as I'm aware. So it's all there. Spoil it,
Wow, so all the uniques are getting spoiled as soon as I finish the Q&A. Yeah. Let me just stall for a while longer.
We could stop right now and people would have that information, but instead we're going to keep going through the question.
I'm not going to stop until Bex tells me to.
I feel really bad for the person that has to write up all the changes if I was wrong and they aren't listed there and then the community expects them and that's their weekend gone.
Sorry, folks. So the new shock skills seem very cool. Though they feel a bit like PoE 2 skills. I've been noticing this a lot lately, where we will have a lot more socket and support freedom in the future. I've noticed this is a bit of a trend with new skills feeling a lot more like combo pieces, and like it really feels like you're butting up against the limitations of the current socket system. Do you feel that when you're designing skills at the moment?
Yeah, we are certainly designing content for PoE 2. I mean, like, you know, this league is designed so it could occur in PoE 2 if we decide to. We're trying very hard to make sure that we are juicing both games at the same time, and that's why from a quality point of view we want them to be, you know, top-notch.
Quality
also,
point of view,
I mean,
my
it means we can
fucking
produce
ass.
much higher budget stuff for PoE 1 because we're getting to spend PoE 2 money on it, and it also means that we're able to make sure PoE 2 launches with a much larger stable of content than other action RPGs in that generation will do.
A lot of stuff is going to take on new life when PoE 2 comes out, with especially with, like I said, we've got so many of these like combo piece feeling skills that are just so hard to fit in builds at the moment. So
Yeah. Well,
really
they'll
looking
find
forward to that.
places. Like, our team are very
yeah.
excited about these.
Yeah, absolutely. Overcharge support, I really like the idea of, but is there any concern that it could become like a universally used damage scaling tool? I've seen this in other games where they've had like a mechanic that you debuff an enemy with so that they take more damage, and the entire gameplay ends up revolving around them. Is this something you're like concerned about here?
So in order to get a good shock value, you don't want to put it in a 2-link with some random skill to shock enemies. You want to actually like increase that damage and put it in a 4-link. And so then you're facing the opportunity cost of every other relevant support gem or utility skill you could have in that
Kör
slot.
upp din
So,
jävla
I mean,
opportunity
it will
cost
certainly
i
have its
röven,
place
Chris
in
Wilson.
trying to
Så
make good
jävla
shocks,
trött på det.
but it's not just something you put on every build just as an afterthought
Dumma
because, you know,
jävla
there's
hora.
limited sockets going on there.
Yeah, right now, like you have the option, I guess, of doing that, but it usually comes at a pretty big opportunity cost. Like skitterbots, for example, reserving something is a pretty frequently used one. So I guess right now, if it's like it's hard to get enough power in a build that doesn't really make sense, it's not going to be a problem. I guess it might be something you might have to review in PoE 2 when people can throw a 6-link at it, even if they're like a melee build or something where it doesn't make much sense otherwise.
Yep, fair enough. I'm avoiding commenting on the availability of 6 links in that content, but people should know what this is.
I mean, as far as
Hopp,
everyone's
då har man
concerned at this
ätit
point, we're all
glass nu
getting
då.
a 6-link on every single skill. Not a
Instantly, on the
Free.
beat,
Yep.
a whole lot.
Kan
Thank
de
you for
stänga
all
av
the
den
6 links.
skiten och ge mig
Well,
patch
speaking of 6
notes? Jag
links, we
vill
got the
inte
return of Tainted
ha er här.
Fusings coming this league. I really liked those for easier, unique availability on corrupted items. It's like a awesome stepping stone. I'm glad to see you guys brought that back, but is it something you wanted to avoid, or because you know they didn't stay around for a while, but now they're coming back? What are your thoughts on like that and the availability of 6 links in general?
We believe the rate that we've reintroduced them in is going to be safe because they're moderately scarce. It's certainly, you know, they're not dropping all over the place, so it should be fine.
All right, let's talk about the league revamps, in particular Arch Nemesis. I'm very excited to see big changes on the Arch Nemesis side of things. At the risk of putting it bluntly, I think Arch Nemesis implementation last league was not met with a lot of love for many, and it didn't really feel like an improvement to the game overall for some. How was your reaction to the implementation of Archnem, and and the community's reaction to it?
Oh yeah.
So I played at League launch last time, which is relatively rare because usually we have raging server fires and that kind of stuff that I get to work on. But this time I got to play some Path of Exile, and I got all the way to maps without really feeling any problems with the Arch Nemesis stuff. And so I was a bit like, I had some cognitive dissonance with the feedback, but our design team like agreed with the feedback. Our design team looked at the builds people were playing, looked at the way they were playing, went through it and said, yeah, we need to tone down some problematic stuff here, which is good because I'm glad they're the design team and not me. And so we really feel that Res in the early game felt too hard relative to Res later on. And we made a lot of changes to it in response to the feedback, and obviously that's stuff we should have had in there through more testing prior to the release. But there were some changes specifically around rewards that we wanted to do but weren't fast to implement, so we waited till 3.19, and that's why it's one of the revamped leagues here despite being so recent. And it was the ability to go through the entire game and make sure that the rate that you're encountering rares is appropriate for how difficult they are, and then making sure that when you do have a hard rare fight, you don't just get a pile of junk, you actually get some really good stuff going on. And so now people will hopefully look forward to finding monsters with multiple Arch Nemesis mods so that they may get really broken conversion stuff.
How aggressive was this reduction in rare monsters applied overall?
It varies. In some cases, there were no changes. Like, for example, the monsters in the actual just areas you walk through are generally relatively low. Like, you can play a map and only encounter a few rares if you haven't juiced it, you know, with all balance values, and that's left unmodified. Of course, you could, if you're lucky, encounter more. But the leagues spammed.
Snabel A.
The
Chris
overloving,
Wilson, har du
like,
nyckelpiket?
There were some
Snabel A.
leagues
Chris
that gave a lot
Wilson,
of
har
rare
du
monsters.
nyckelpiket?
Like,
Snabel
we have to
A.
turn down like
Chris
6 or 8
Wilson, har du
times in some games.
nyckelpiket?
And so
Snabel A.
that's making a
Chris
big difference.
Wilson,
Now you
har du
actually have some
nyckelpiket?
ability to
Snabel A.
focus
Chris
on what
Wilson,
you
har
want
du
you're playing against, as
nyckelpiket?
opposed to the screen being full of
Snabel A.
yellow
Chris
1 frame per
Wilson, har
second
du
death.
nyckelpige?
So yeah, there has been a big reduction for some leagues, and then we've had to compensate. And this is why Beyond and Harvest were 2 that we redid, because we can turn down rares, but you can't turn down rares in Beyond, where the whole point is all the monsters are basically rare, or Harvest, where they have to be rare in order to give the amount of life force they did before. We had to rework systems and balance entirely for those leagues in order to be able to turn the rares down.
Chat's been spamming about Headhunter. How does this nerf Headhunter once again
Headhunter
into the
pratar om
dust,
att det är
Chris?
deletat.
All these extra
Snabel A.
mods on rare
Chris
monsters for you to
Wilson, har
take,
du
I mean, that's a
nøjes
buff, right?
blindøst til mig? Snabel A.
It's
Chris
a buff!
Wilson, har
We
du
can't
nøjes
balance the
blindøst
entire
til
game
mig?
around Headhunter, and it's still a very powerful item.
Wilson, har du nøjes blindøst til
There you go,
mig?
chat.
Snabel A. Chris Wilson, har du nøjes blindøst til mig? Snabel A. Chris Wilson.
How does this change the balance between base gameplay reward and specific league reward mechanics? So I guess now, like, when a rare spawns from a league mechanic,
Nej,
it essentially
fan
is dropping its
alltså.
new.
Headhunter har buffat båten, you heard it here first. Yep.
Han mimar ju.
Nej. Det stänger vi av, fy fan. Bort med skiten, fy fan alltså. Där fick jag nog alltså.
Ta bort Mageblad.
Wow. Oh. Ja, jag tyckte förra ligan var turboskit, men det här tar fan priset. Fy fan. Wow. De snackar om milibuffs poggers. Tror fan jag skulle bli mer intresserad om de börjar snacka om vad de åt till frukost och hur deras bajs har varit sedan dess. Oh my god. Garbage-spel. Vad legans tragiskt. Bort med skiten. Wow. Du är full copium. Ja, det är bra. Kan någon vara det i alla fall. Fy fan vad illa jag mår. Fan, legan så jävla trash. Wow. Just wow. So fucking
Det är
bad.
fan true. Holy fuck, Trickster i burken.
Nice. Kör Trickster.
Du kan inte bli slowad, du kan inte bli vinesnärad. Det är det.
Det är väl klart om din base speed inte kan bli segare.
Nej, jag tänkte...
Ja! Nice! Even more reason not to play Jug. Poggers!
Nice.
Oh my god, jag älskar PoE. Bara skoja. So fucking bad.
Jag gillar att Jögga kan bli slowad base value, så basically blir bättre.
It's so bad alltså. Jag blir bara
Fy fan, men det verkar lite weird change.
Fuck PoE allt jag säger. Fucking trash-spel. Jag är så ledsen. Wow. Wow. Just wow. Kan de sluta prata om massa skit så att de kan fucking
Jag
dra
frågar
upp
om
patch
melee
notes?
buffs.
Milibuffs till eldborken.
Eller de frågar efter det.
Ja, för då kan ju Quinn äga med sin Bone Shatter. Shattera Chris Wilsons rövhål. Kan ju vara eldborken. Alltså jag legit hellre installerar Boatwatch och spelar en PoE om... Alltså släpp fucking patch notes era värdelösa orör! Jag skiter i all dynga ni har sagt. Allting har varit fucking legit full garbo. Skillsen såg så jävla tråkiga ut och best case scenario det kanske är en nisch. Alla items de visar upp och allt med League Mechanic, allt sånt där. Legit fucking turbo skit. Massa extra, alltså det är legit allting jag hatar. Massa extra runk, check. Loot explosion och hel garbage, check. Extra skit och loota. Browser. Så ledsen. Kan de släppa notes of patch, notes of patch, notes of patch. Kanske ska gå och duscha och typ raka hela kroppen och sånt där kul. Kanske man känner sig mindre smutsig efter att ha fått höra den där skiten. Men det är lugnt, båten headhunter buff, let's fucking go!
Ja.
Fan vad nice! Han sitter och defendar plus 2 range. Ja. Det faktum att han som sagt... Ja du. Jag kan inte ens hitta ord som beskriver hur fucking handikappat det är. Ja men han... he was only doing the meme när han satt headhunter och buffat. Jaha. Och vad fan är det där då? Full epic trole, it's only a prank bro. Jesus fucking Christ. Ja. Ja du. Did the funny joke. Beyond gone for good. Japp. Typ det enda bra som har funnits i spelet senast. Jag vet inte hur länge. Tur vi gör oss av med det. Thank you. Doesn't fucking matter. Just go. Nej, kanske ska sätta sig och installera Boatwatch. Kan inte vara mer tråkigt än det där. Kanske matchmaking i CS och inte springa in och fuska det. Ja du. Så mycket låter mer appealing. Eller typ bara rakt av äta bajs. Det lät också ganska kul.
Good and the hard. Så precis så.
Det kommer inga hard mode heller va?
Han satt och skulle prata om det nu och då.
Nice. Kommer de säga hard mode kommer vilken liga som helst, är inte. Men det kommer inte komma vid release för de dividar playerbase. För de blir depression kicks in. Säg någon deprimerande film man kan sitta och kolla på repeat. Kommer fan vara mer uplifting än lyssna på den där skiten. Shit, Chris Wilson, så jävla trash-spel. Jag saknar när PoE inte var fucking jävla garble. More gold, more gold, more gold. 1, 2, 3, 4, ja. Hjälp William att räkna. So bad. Delete that achievement på Steam. Oh no! That changes everything. Spela PoE på Steam. Åh herregud. Spela någonting frivilligt på Steam när det finns bättre val. Steam kan äta mitt jävla bajs. Båten, ska vi börja köra Classic? Wow, jag kan spela med dig.
Nej.
Nej, det är skit, ja, jag vet. Vad fan är inte PoE då, hora? Nej, bra skit.
Ja. Skit.
Jag kommer i alla fall få PoE-content lik förbannat. Jag kan ju kolla på both Discord streams så det blir mysigt. Nej, för jag ska inte spela. Vi dö, William. Svar probably. It's fine. Tid är skit, men det gör ju inget. För jag vet annat som är skit och det gör något. Alltså erkänn Chris Wilson, du gör det bara för att du vet att jag hatade din värdelösa jävla hora. Det är en konspirationsteori som inte ens är en jävla teori. Jävla fitta. He's out to get me. That's fine. Äggfarm och hoj. Vill du ha några ägg på din farm eller båten?
Ja.
Nice. Kom till Williams äggfarm så ska vi farma. Skulle jag gjort så? Nej, det är för sent så skitsamma. Jag får ju så jävla turbo-skit. Why? Ja, men ni gör nog sova och jag vill åka skoter. Båten, din flickvän var här och frågade efter dig igår.
Nej.
Hon var skoterkåt så hon behövde dig.
Ja.
Det kan vara det bästa ordet jag har hört. Skoterkåt. Jävla hora.
Ja. Ja, för att jag är eller vad då?
Båten, Får man vara fyrhjulskåt eller?
Nej.
Nej. Är det fett olagligt eller vad?
Nej, kanske inte, men typ.
Det är inte lika coolt eller?
Får det vara fett olagligt om det vill, men... Eller?
Ja, men jag vet inte. Får du det om du vill då? Varför får jag inte spela Wii? Har de slutat runka med skiten?
Nej, jag pratar om Harvest.
Jag vill bara gå och lägga mig och gråta alltså. Det är so fucking bad! Okej, de gjorde vad då? De tog bort och la in massa skit som bara gör mig deprimerad. Och vad gjorde de ens som man tycker är somewhat decent? Harvest skiter, men jag hatar Harvest ändå. Nu är det bara, man hatar det fortfarande, men man kan göra det. Alltså. I don't know, it's so bad. Jag kan bara släppa en list of unique så jag kan komma. Alltså. Allt suger, jag är ledsen. Minesweeper, vart är du? Fitta. Vad är det här för jävla skitstart? Tack, go again. Så tack. Right. Kuk. Och det värsta av allt är precis det där kommer hända i D2R-zonerna också. Så fucking garbo. Saker ska inte bli bättre. Det ska bli sämre. Man ska gå bakåt i tiden. Nej, man ska inte ens gå bakåt i tiden, för det hade varit bra. Man ska gå framåt i tiden. Som är baklänges. Kuka mig. I don't know. Fuck it, jag bara, alltså. Inga divine charge. Oh no. Inte mer olik skit att trycka på järnspikar. Det var ju precis det jag behövde. Hata innan man behöver ha färre skitsaker att trycka på. Vill ha mer skit man kan trycka på. That's more fun. Fitta. Kan de pladdra färdigt eller? Så va? Till och med duren som sitter bakom de skrev personal och ser ett noteblock på sin skärm. Notepad om mitt anus. Jag vet inte ens om patch notes kan rädda det alltså. En av dem. What is that? Mobile PoE Poggers! Kör fan hellre Diablo Immortal. Jag kanske ska bli Diablo Immortal player istället. Lät fan 100 gånger roligare. Dig. 5 kvar. Två. 3.
Jag är klar nu.
Ja, men det kommer att bli skit av det eller va? 3. Då måste det vara... Dig va? Ja, har jag missat något? Ligger det va? Så. Wow, finns våra patch notes?
Det ska finnas. Klart det.
Poggers. Oh my god, hela mitt hjärta och huvud bara snurrar. It's so bad. Jag tror sidan dog, det gjorde han definitivt. Nej, announcing. Ja, men vart är våra patch notes då? Patch notes. Hoho.
De hostade Steelmail.
Wow. Good for them. Kan de dra upp revolet? The Revel. Där är den va? Ja, förutom att man inte får komma in. F5.
Ränka då.
F5 med tanke på hemsidan inte kommer in i röven. Vart har vi about? Skriv där så är det. F5. 5D F. 5D F. 5D F. Efter 5. 5D F. Efter 5. Gud vad. Hur många viewers hade skitstreamen? 100k?
120 som max.
Så nice! Nu får vi läsa på girls. Oh my god. Whatever. Feature content, League content rework, don't care, beyond, RIP, lesson, divine, exalted, fated, uniques, rebalance, jag måste se då. Oh my god, Finns
Får
det
inte jag
något
komma in?
coolt? Sitt och F5 och jag lever. Ja, men det här kommer jag ju aldrig orka läsa. Det finns väl inget item. Unwill unique chance to block previously. Jaha. Wow, vilken ändring. Asnats Mark Helmet. Det är väl... Instead now it has trigger a socketed spell when you attack with bow poggers. And spell damage på din capsbåten! Din Asnats Mark Caps Poggers. Den är nu helt spell damage on det. Då kan din tornado poppa av. Vad coolt. Beast for show. Now has previously increased that. Garbage. I don't even know vad hälften av det här skiten är. Bramblejack! Unique body armor no longer has. It now has. Minus to physical damage taken from attack from hit. Oh my god! Plus leave. Oh my god, 100% of melee physical damage taken reflected to attacker. Oh my god, wow! Bringer of rain. Oh my god, kanske jag göra bringer of rain. Mail kanske helt jävla borken. Socketed by level 30 melee fist. Faster attack and blind. Oh my god! Då har du en Ghetto 6-länkad caps utan att ha en chest. Det ger nu 200-300 liv! Oh my god! Is that all? The changes to the sported applies to existing item. Oh my god, wow! Helt borkan. Bringer of rain är less shit men kommer fortfarande vara garbage. Clay Shaper now has 4 minions have it now instead. The Golem deals added attack physical damage. Wait, inte då. Actually, I don't know. Finns det inget coolt item? Sybils på, den var ju jättecool en gång i tiden. Och den är helt garbage still. Hopp, anything else? Whatever. The Ressus Defiance now has 100% onslaught effect and... men vad är det här? That's Harpbågen now has... Bow has 2 attacks, fire 2 additional projectiles. Alltså vad är det för skit? Deerstalker. Så klickar jag nu. Deerstalker fick minus 30 till 45 liv men plus 4 levlar to trap. Vad är det här? Alltså what the fuck är det här för garbage? Det där kan inte vara seriöst, it's so bad. Då är det stämning, mer int. Allres. Mana gain on kill. Wow. Slightly less garbage. Då är det scorn, vet inte ens vad det är. Doomfletch. Wait, what? Doomfletch no longer has gain 100% of Fizz as extra damage of a random element. Instead gains 100% as extra of each element. Det är väl bara samma som den uppgraderade. Fast de kanske tog bort det. Det stod säkert där, men jag läste. Tricorn Ghetto Headhunter. Då kan man köra det på en Headhunter build. I guess added maximum lightning damage equals to 20% energy. It now also has, oh jävlar, ephemeral edge i bonksvärd. Helt på grus. Vad är det här? Paragraphs. You can now be touched by a tormented spirit. What a piece of garbage. Alltså, what? Det finns ju... I don't fucking get it. Grutguldspelt då. No longer as it now as ink arm evasion. Massa liv. Regen 10% life per second. Jävlar, Grutguldspelt kanske är usable. Coolt. Något coolt item. Coolt. Ice Tomb, båtens favoritchest. No longer as duration, instead now has 20% chance to freeze enemies for 1 second when hit. Men alltså, what the fuck? What the fuck är det för garbage? Infernal Mantle, kom igen då. No longer as fire damage. It now has +3 level of socketed fire gems previously and 100% spell damage taken when on low mana. Previously 15. Ah. Ja, det lät ju skitbra. Kaum sign unik ring. What? Grants level 10 enduring cry. Jaha. Cool. Kikatsaru.
Nej.
Buffat Kikatsaru. Båten. Kikatsaru buff. Det är ju bra som helst. Kintsugi now has 35% less damage taken if you have not been hit recently. 100% evasion if you have been hit recently. Mer evasion men inget liv. Boring. Learcast reduced damage previously. Oh my god, Learcast är ännu mer aura bot item. Wow. Lightning coil! Nu du! 50% fish taken as lightning! Previously 30, that's it. Det var ens coolt. Unlock Mokus Embrace, finns något coolt item. Obliteration Wand, no longer adds. Now has gained Fizz extra chaos. Jävlar. Elburken. Rainbow Stride. No longer as ES. It now has 20% increased movement speed. Previously 25. Oh my god. 15 till 20% chance to block spell damage. Oh my god. Rainbow Stride buff. Nej, förutom att den tog bort massa ES, I just noticed. Oops. ES mot spellblock, yay. It now has massa liv. Fire damage from it taken as 100% of fire damage taken from hits taken as physical. Wait, är det ens bra? I don't fucking know.
Jävla death heart på 2 arrows.
Bra va? Alltså det... Rise of the Phoenix no longer as life. Armor ES.
Fan vad din mick är bajs.
Ja men vad ska jag göra då?
Jag
Ska
vet inte, typ att
stoppa
den är
upp
bajs.
den i din rumpa. Saffels frame, spellblock, wow. On resist, wow. Alltså vad är det för tråkig skit? Ingenting i någonting. Chavrons ring 250 mana! Mana stacker! 6% ES. Det är trash. Previously 3 left. What? Left. Jaha, och vad gör den om då är ni left ring? Där har de missat någonting. Så är den oändrad här nu. Fucking trash. Alltså finns det inga
Men det var väl bara leveling unique som menar.
Inte vet jag.
Det
Thieves
står väl då.
Torment! Härbåten! Now has mere resistance! That's it. Yay. Thunderfist. Du då? 100% duration, ailment, no longer has stun duration. Or 1-100 attacks. 100% increased of lightning, ailment. Det blir i alla fall någonting.
Jävlar den där med lätten i borken. Here is truth, unique.
Jag vet inte ens vilken det är.
Den där som ger med precision.
Ja, vad gör den nu då?
Nej, det är inte den. Utan det är bow attacks, culling strike. Får du 50 crit multi top roll. Sen 80 dex top.
Jävlar. Deckstacker! Defense balance, allt det där är garbage. Där har de ju runkat.
Vad fan är inte Infernal Man, så bork.
Du tar 100% increase spell damage.
Ja, jag trodde man dealade increase spell damage.
Corpex, vart är allting? Trap, cooldown, seismic trap. 30% less damage. Det är väl inte ens, är det ens nog för att ta död på den? I don't know. Explosive, whatever, cast on death, blessing, mark, whatever. Awakened X-touch, Val clarity, oh my god. Increase soul cost and slightly increased duration på clarity. Wow. Was not working as expected. Asså. Jag vet inte ens vad det där är. Ascendancy balance. Ja, men vart det står något om Zion? Zion, hello? Ascendant. It now grants prevent plus 6% suppressed spell damage while on full ES. Jag tror det var global buzz. Okej. 2% more damage for each different type of mastery. 2% leech as ES near body monster actions. Wow, trash. Make source of maximum shock effect additive with each other. What? Aha. Voltaxic blev inte ens buffad till convert all lightning damage. Alltså, det är... Nope. Ja. Passive skill tree sources of lightning damage. Jaha. Solution. Split out. It's been replaced. Och man kan få chock prolift på trädet masterybåten. Oh my god! Radius of 10 fucking garbage. Fine. Avoid being stunned on flask. The suffix of flask now has a value of the lowest there previously. Alltså den, wow, man kan bli stun immune från flask lättare poggers. Wall breach due to technical limitation. Solution Wall breach now has a chance to drop from killing breach large button from flawless breach stones. Never mind. Hopp. Recombinators. Oh my god, de har nerfat recombinators! Kan inte använda på mirrored items! Oh my god, wow! Poggers! Atlas changes. Following has been added back. Finns det någon map som är så bra? Pallet favorit Chateau. Excavation! Forking River! Ja! Skitbra map. Det är legit att trash maps has been removed. Burial Chambers, ja den bör man inte. City Square, Core. Vad mer är borttaget? Toxic Sewer, Tropical Island. What the fuck ska man ens köra för maps? Det kommer ju bara finnas trash. Oh my god. Så varför ändrar de vart div-card droppas? Hur fan håller någon koll på? Alltså, så jävla onödigt. Kira, skit. Quest changes. Overcharge support. Ja, men där var nya skitgrejer. Oh my god! The map device now remembers which map crafting option you last used and it is automatically selected if it's available and you have the relevant currency. Oh my god, the technology! Wow! Wow, det har ju bara tagit några år! Oh my god, well played! Accessing the trade website now requires you to be logged in. Yes! För då när jag inte spelar spelet så måste jag vara loggad in för att kolla på värdelösa poggers. Nice. Sweet. Ja, men det hjälper API:en säkert. Wow, that's it. Holy shit, so trash. So fucking bad.
Äger du då?
Det är ju helt garbage. Wow. Ja, får skippa den här ligan också. Fy fan.
Var det någon med skillbaden?
Jag vet inte. Tror inte. Kanske har missat gå längst upp. Nope. Underperforming skill. Ja, men det är väl bara skiten från tidigare. Ja, det är... Oh my god. Wow.
Good.
Wow, 6 månader för det här. Nice. Det finns bara typ en vettig grej och det är att map-devicen kommer ihåg det senaste och pluppat in. Wow, that's it. That's it. Holy shit. So bad.
Jävla inte Saffel så jag jävla borg.
Saffel gav vadå lite spellblock och lite resist eller vad det var. Saffel. Lite spellblock. Och lite mer resist. That's it. Yay.
Jävlar, man kanske ska köpa Thunderfist early on. Eller? Måste man göra.
Om du ska stacka en skockeffekt.
Nej. Jag har dem bara för 5 länk early med level 30 hade lightning.
Ja,
Typ
det var
på
det
ballista.
också. Jävlar. Oh my god, det här är typ den bästa buffen. Lures and infused engineers orb can no longer be obtained. Poggers.
Jävlar.
Ja, ja. Jag är så ledsen, fy fan. Slaying enemies 3% now instead grants 10% chance for your maps to attract beyond. Oh my god, alltså legit, it's so bad. Ja, men då får man ju beyond en 10-del av mapsen. Wow. Jag är så ledsen, fy fan vad garbage. I'm so sad. Jag antar det fanns väl inte Defiance. Taressos Defiance, inga Cloak of Defiance, obviously not. De där dojorna heter någonting. Oh my god. I don't know. Fy fan vad deprimerande. Nej, jag ska gå och vara deprimerad. Så, ja. Ha det så
Nej, men vi
gött.
kör.
Vad sa du?
Kör.
Hej hej, hurra. Oh my god, så fucking bad alltså. Nej nu, jag ska bara försvinna här. Jag har inte ord. It's so trash. It's bad, so bad. I am bara deprimerad. Fy fan vad garbage. Sov så gott, ha det trevligt. Jag ska sitta och runka och vara deprimerad resten av natten. Hej hej!